Hi everyone, welcome back. Nigel here from the EV Puzzle. Having a pretty miserable day today, to be honest, and I thought I would share that misery. I feel really close to doing a rant video. Yeah, I'm pretty peed off. I've been building up with this being peed off because of a Microsoft 10 upgrade that I was doing on my laptop that crashed halfway through and made the laptop unusable. And you know, that really grates on me that Microsoft, such a large, powerful, brilliant company, would release a piece of software that can leave you with £1,000 worth of hardware unusable because they have corrupted it in such a way that it's not recoverable. My only options, I thought, were replacing the physical hard drive and installing from scratch, and I bet I wouldn't be able to use my old license, so I'd have to buy a new Windows license, or take it to some engineering place and have them do the work and pay hundreds and hundreds of pounds just to get my laptop working again. So yeah, I was pretty peed off with that. Then after that, I performed an upgrade on my Huawei P20 Pro smart Android phone that I'm actually recording this on right now, and that failed as well. Well, I say failed, you know, it worked and the software upgraded and the phone's usable, but not with Android Auto. So I've lost a key piece of functionality that I use with this phone. I use it in my Kona Electric and I use it to run Google Maps and Waze through Android Auto. I can't anymore. So that's 2 upgrades and 2 bits of disappointment. Last few days I've had the My Energy hub with me, and I hadn't got round to trying to install it because it wasn't quite working as I was expecting. Reading the instructions, it wasn't doing what I was expecting it to do, so I didn't understand it. So I placed a support call today to find out how it was really working, and lo and behold, there wasn't anything wrong, but there wasn't any indication that would allow me to go forward to the next steps. I didn't have any confirmation that it was working okay. So anyway, got past that step. Support were brilliant on the phone, so thank you, My Energy. I can't remember the chap's name I spoke to, but very helpful. But having installed the latest version of firmware, I'm now not happy again. This is 3 for 3. The firmware has been upgraded, it worked, and I had to change some of the parameters back on the Zappi because it wiped them. So I've got the Zappi now working again and charging. But it's changed. Yeah, I suppose with, you know, firmware level changes, software changes, you expect there to be changes. But what disappoints me is that the change that I'm experiencing is a retrograde negative step backwards in how you can charge using solar energy, which surely that's the fundamental, isn't it? I mean, My Energy and Zappi are all about green, sustainable energy and you know, being good for the environment. So for me to sit here and say I've upgraded the latest firmware on the Zappi and it now is forcing me to draw more energy from the grid to charge my car than I had to before is a backward step. The other thing that's happened is that I used to be able to charge at 1.3 kilowatts. That was the minimum the car would start charging on. Now, you know, supposedly that was the car enabling that, but now with this new level of firmware I need 1.6. The Zappi has now changed it so it won't start charging until I've got 1.6 kilowatts of solar energy coming through. So the net effect of that is the new version of the firmware for the Zappi has increased the level of solar energy required to charge the car in all of the modes, limited, reduced and maximum, and the full rate one. It has increased it. So from 1.3 to 1.6, well, that's 25%. So I now need 25% more solar energy before I can start charging. So in winter, am I really going to have 1.6 kilowatts of electricity being generated by solar? No. So winter charging, forget that. That's not going to happen anymore. So the net effect of all of these changes is I have to set the Zappi in a way that it will draw more energy from the grid, because I can charge. It's not stopping me from charging, but I'm going to have to want the charge, and I'm going to have to accept whatever it draws from the grid it draws to meet those minimums. So instead, in the past of just drawing 1.3 kilowatts, now I have to draw 1.6, and this is in maximum mode in the car. So if I'm only producing 1 kilowatt of electricity from my solar panels, then previously I would have been drawing 300 watts to top it up to get to the 1.3. Now I've got to draw 600 watts to actually get the car charging. So I am going to be using a lot more energy from the grid, and that really bugs me. I've been working so hard to try and get the amount of grid energy I'm using down, and now it's just going to go up, and it's going to go up because I'm not in control of it anymore. And that's the whole point to the Zappi, isn't it? To automate your control so that you are in control. It's being managed automatically to maximize the solar energy that you're generating and get that into your car, so that coal-fired power stations and gas-powered fire stations are not fueling my Kona Electric. And now they're going to have to. This is going to be a coal-powered or gas-powered Kona Electric, and that really, really annoys me. Yeah, like I said, I'm as close to a rant video as I can get. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed that so I've got to be so careful, because I don't want to diss my energy, and I don't want to diss the product, but I'm just really confused. The message that comes out for my energy and the products is that they're a very green company. They're all about sustainable energy. They're all about getting wind power or solar power into your cars so that you're driving on that sustainable green energy, not grid energy. And yet they've released a version of their product that's going to cause me to use 25% more, at least, grid energy. It does feel to me that control has been taken away from me, and it's now not in control. I now have to plug in the car and charge when I want to charge, and whatever I get green-wise and whatever I get from the grid is what I get. I'm not in control of it anymore. Previously, I could change the eco parameters, and I really could get to 99% or 100% green, and I could just drive from solar. I can't anymore, and I'm gutted about that. I really am. It's changing my experience of the product, because I was so happy with it, and I was minimizing the amount of energy I was drawing from the grid. I was maximizing the amount of solar energy that I was using and driving on, and it was bringing lots of smiles to my face. That's how it's supposed to be. It was bringing happiness to me. I'm not putting any emissions into the environment, and I could absolutely honestly say that I was driving without coal-powered power stations or gas-powered ones, because that's what you hear from the detractors about electric cars. Oh, it doesn't matter that you've got an electric car because it's run on coal and gas anyway, isn't it? It's powered from the network. And I would love to say, no, mine's powered from solar, and solar only, because I was going to quite a lot of effort to make sure that it was powered purely from solar. Now it's not. And yeah, the moral of this story: don't upgrade anything. If it's working and you're happy with it, leave it alone. Windows crashed, Huawei phone doesn't work with Android Auto, and now my Zappi has made me unhappy. I'm not as happy anymore, and I think it feels worse for this, even though the upgrade has been more of a success than the other two, than the Microsoft and the Android one for the Huawei phone. Even though the MyEnergy upgrade has been better in that it worked, and it worked smoothly, and it did what it's supposed to, the net result of the changes to the software have left me more unhappy, because I guess I was really happy, ecstatic about using the Zappi and the solar energy in my Kona, whereas Microsoft and Huawei and Android versions, who cares? They didn't really mean a lot to me. This meant a lot to me, and it meant a lot to be maximising the solar energy that was coming from the house into the car. And it's a great story to be able to repeat to other people, whereas I can't honestly say that anymore. And I just wish I understood. I wish I understood how this could happen, because it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense at all. Everything just seems the opposite now. Instead of being really happy and looking forward to the app coming and having more control and more visibility of my data, everything was positive. It's not anymore. It's not positive at all. And I'm pretty fed up with it. So tomorrow I've got to place another call to MyEnergy and place the support call and be fair to them because who knows what it is. You know, maybe there's another parameter on there that needs changing that I'm not aware of, and it'll certainly magically fix it. Perhaps that's a wrong version, perhaps there's a better version out there to fix this, or perhaps they'll recognise it and perhaps they'll do something about it. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I'm sorry to share negative news, but I suppose it's the real story. Stuff happens and it's not always good, and often you feel pretty disappointed. And yeah, I was hoping for more and I didn't get it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care and see you again soon, hopefully with a more positive story. Bye for now.